back to Tina's sewing class. Today we're going to be doing our sloper pattern, basic pattern. It's also called the block pattern, and this is our model today that we're going to be using, and we're going to do the 7 basic measurement that you do for, and we're taking it by stage. So today we're going to be doing the front sloper pattern. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your tape measure, you're going to need your ruler, and you're going to need pencil to get some pencil. So I have ruler, different type. This is a arm curve. This one is a good one, guys, for you to get for your bag. Is going to be, this is the circular that's used for like armholes and so on, and this is your hip curve. So this is a 2-in-1, and it's very useful, good to have. And remember, the scissors you use for cutting your fabric should not be the one you use for cutting paper. So this is going to be your paper scissors. I'm going to grab a pencil. You're going to need your tape measure, and let's begin. First, I'm going to take the 7 basic measurement that we're going to need is across the chest. We're going to need the shoulder from high point to right here where the shoulder breaks. We're going to need center down to the waistline. We're going to need across the bust. We're going to need our side seam and waist measurement. So let's begin. Okay guys, this is the basic set of measurements that we just took that we're going to be working with. Let's begin. So the first line that we're going to draw is called our fold line. And our fold line is the line that we will not cut. So I'm going to put that line in, and I'm going to mark it fold line. We will not cut this line. And when you're looking at a pattern, any line that says fold line, don't cut through that line. It's where your fabric is folded. So you have your fabric that you're going to be cutting from, and you fold. This is where you're going to lay your pattern piece. It's called your fold line. It's not cut through. And you always want to mark that on your pattern, because you'll mistakenly cut it, or you want to make sure you watch out for it on your commercial patterns. All right, guys? So that's our fold line. Now, the top of our fabric is where we're going to place. So you would want to place your pattern right along the fold line for your center front, right at the edge of the fabric. Make sure your fabric is also straight. You want to prepare your fabric. We'll go through that. That will be another video in the future where you prepare your fabric for cutting. So let's begin. We're gonna go 3.5 inches. That is gonna be for our neckline. So that's gonna be 3, and you mark that off, 3.5 inches. And we're gonna mark another 4 inches for our shoulder. 4 inches for the shoulder. That's your neck area. I hope you can see all right. This is going to be your neck area. I have to use this because the pencil is dull, and this is going to be your shoulder measurement. Now for the shoulder, you want to go down 1 inch from the very top of your paper 1 inch down, and you're going to take that from the top right where the neckline ends, and you're going to mark that line in 1 inch down, and that's going to be your shoulder line. And I'm going to use this brighter ink so you can see that. So that's your shoulder neckline and shoulder. This pattern have no allowance. It's your basic sloper or block pattern with just your basic fit or your customer's basic fit. For those of you who are going to be sewing for customers, you want to make sure you have a sloper of your customer before you begin to design any kind of garment fit for your client. Now we're looking for the chest area measurement, and remember, we fold our fabric. Our pattern is being created the same way. A half of your front measurement, because the fabric is unfold. To find your chest, you want to measure from the base. You want to measure from the base, the high point of the neckline. 9 inches down is going to be where you usually, most of the time on this model, 9 inches down is where we find her bust measurement, and 5 inches down is where from the eye point, 5 inches down is going to be across chest, and 9 inches from the high point down is going to be her bust line. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just draw a line across for the chest. Don't have the measurements yet, just going to put a line across, and this is going to be the chest. I'm going to put another line across, and this is going to be the bust. So that's going to be where I find my bust line, chest area. And our center, let me just check real quick to be double sure that center front is going to be, for her center front, I'm going to find it about 3 inches, 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches from the, turn it this way so you can see, 2.5 inches from the high point is where I'm going to find that neck, that little center hold in the neck area, and I'm going to put a line across for that one as well. And for me to get a good measurement on my line, I hold my ruler, I start right on my edge here or here. This is a see-through ruler, as you can see, very important to have, helps great with your measurements. So let me just write these in so we don't forget. This is going to be our cross chest. And this one is going to be our bust line. Alrighty, now our waist is 16, our waist is 14 inches down. So from the high point again, all the way down to 14 inches is where we have our waistline is actually, no, not 14 inch down, it's going to be 16.5. So from the high point, shoulder to waist, 16.5 inches. So this is where we have it. I'm going to go ahead as well and put a line across, and this is That's her waistline. So we're gonna mark here for our waistline. Alrighty, getting there, guys. Okay, now half of our chest, across chest is 11, so we're gonna have half of 11 is 5.5. So we get our chest, half of our chest, 5.5 inches right there. Half of our bust is 8 inches. Remember, I'm not adding any allowance at this time for sewing. It's just our basic fit. And this is our shoulder, 4 inches, and our shoulder line is there. So this is our shoulder line, this is our chest line, and this is our bust line. This area is going to be our armhole. So we have our measurements to get our armhole measured in, and we're going to do that right now. This is your curved ruler, your hip curve, and your armhole curve. So this is a 2-in-1, a great must-have, guys. Okay, and this is the armhole that we're going to be putting in. I'm going to take it this way. Yeah. And it's best to use this. This is much brighter. I can see better. Alrighty. And it comes down, it don't go up like that. So that's the armhole. Now we're gonna do, that's our bust line and our waist. There's 2 things I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna go down 3.5 inches for, and remember, this is just a sloper. You're gonna be able to cut your any style that you want. This is what you're gonna use as a guide. So you can always go lower, you can go round, you can go square. You know, the sky's the limit here, guys, of what you can do with your neckline. So I'm going to draw the neckline in. Alrighty, so that's my, now it started looking like something, right? Okay, great. And my waist is going to be here, the waistline, from where your armhole ends to where your waistline ends. It's going to be where you start, and the waistline is 14.7 inches. Now I'm going to be adding 2 inches here for darts. So I'm going to make it 8 inches. Always measure twice, cut once, guys. As a rule, you always want to measure once and cut twice. So this is going to be my 8 inches, and remember, there's no allowance for sewing at this point. No allowance for sewing. That's my waistline. So I'm going to measure from my fold 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 inches. Double check, make sure I have 4 inches. Yes, 4 inches. I'm going to measure 1 inch, and I'm going to measure 1 inch. So that's my 2-inch allowance. I'm gonna go 5 inches up because usually that's how we make our darts. You can make them smaller, but I was taught this way too, and I usually do a 5-inch line. So from here, I'm gonna get my center line for this dart. This is where I would stop my dart, and I draw my first line from 1 inch, and I blend it in to this point as well. It's my first dart portion, and this is my second right into that line as well, so they connect because you want a nice flow. So this is where you would have the point. And for those of you, I'm gonna punch a hole here. Some people cut this open, but I never cut my darts open. I just make a punch hole and I make a dot on my fabric. Same here, here, and here. So this is gonna be my fold line, and I write that in FOLDLINE. This is my fold line for my dart. Nice. And I'm gonna, from the waistline, I need 9 inches up, and that is where I'm getting 9 inches up is my waistline. Okay. Double check. I have 9. Double check that looks a little bit, yeah, too much. Actually, yeah, 9 inches. Yeah, that's correct. So I'm gonna have to refix my line here. So that's 9 inches, and then I want to add here. I want to add darts, a bust line dart here. So I measure 2.5 inches down. I'm gonna go 2.5 inches down. Remember, this is my bust line, so this dart is gonna be just below my bust line, and this also is gonna be in line with this line here. So I go, well, 1/2 inch this time, not a whole inch. Go 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch on this end, and I put that line in because they must meet. And another thing is, should have done it like that, where my midpoint, I need a little space between my lines, between my darts. So I'm gonna do like 1/2 inch space between my darts. So I make this one a little bit tighter here. And 1/2 inch that way. Alrighty, so that's gonna be my dart for my bust. Make it a little bit sharper. Okay, so that's my bust dart, and same thing goes for here. I make a little dot so I can have my marker in, and I go from, this is our bust line, okay, And this is, remember, there's no seam allowance. It's just a straight across line. And I'm going to cut my pattern out now, and you'll see what it looks like. Measure twice, cut once. Make sure I have my 16.5. I'm good to go. So before I cut, this is what the pattern looks like. And I'm going to cut. The most important, you want to get your shoulder, your armhole, you want to get your cross chest, you want to get your bust line, waistline. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. I'm going to use construction paper, guys, so I can mark on my fabric. Okay, a little bit more, I don't want to cut too much. That end. And remember, every pattern will be different because we don't all have the same size, right? We're different, body size, body type, but once you get your sloper, you can create just about any style that you want. So this is our shoulder line, armhole. The good thing with this guy is that you don't have to buy, once you can make your own patterns, you don't have to go buy those expensive commercial patterns. In our next video, I'll show you how to, careful with the circle, I'm going to show you how to grade your patterns. You can make one simple medium size pattern and you can grade it into, you can grade down to a small, you can grade up to a medium, grade up to a large, and you use your large to do your extra large and so on. And I'll show you guys how to do that as well in another video after we finish creating a pattern. Yeah, and this moves nicely too when you bend it a little bit as you go for these curves. All right, guys. So this is our block or sloper pattern with our fold line, armhole, neckline, shoulder. This is our side seam. If you want to put darts in your pocket, and I think really, yeah, maybe we'll see. Might have to adjust this a little bit, but I'll see. Depend on her measurement. Again, each pattern is going to be different because each person is shape is different. This is the shape that comes with this model, and this is from her waist down. This is a measurement from that low point, actually would be here. This is a little bit lower. Her low point is here, down to the center where her waist would meet her skirt if you're doing a top and bottom join. Bust line, dart line. Alright, guys, so happy sewing. Happy sewing. And the next pattern we're going to do is our back. So this is the front, back. Thanks guys for watching. Leave your comments below. Let me know how you're doing. If you did not understand something, just let me know and I'll go over it again. And if you like this channel and need more videos like these, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, share, and like the video as well. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.